Paul didn't have his order of service here in front of him this morning. But thank you all for being here this day. It is a day that we have not really looked forward to, in the sense that we are saying goodbye to our beloved pastor and wife. But at the same time, it is always a good day to be in the house of the Lord and to worship Him. And Pastor Randy has expressed that he wants this service to be as such. But there are some things that we want to do in recognizing this great couple today. First of all, before I get into that as our primary focus, there are a few just general items that I need to share with you as we discuss this transitional process. As I've said, we will try to keep you abreast of what is happening as much as we can. Our next meeting with our district superintendent is September the 23rd. So you be praying. At that time, we will probably get our first look at any prospective ministers, looking at resumes, etc. Beginning next Sunday, September the 16th, we have a supply pastor. Reverend Nathan Price will be with us on both Sunday mornings and Sunday evenings during this transitional period. He is a retired Nazarene minister living in the Orlando area and has been the supply or interim pastor for several churches here in Florida. Wednesday evening services will continue to be conducted by some of our own retired ministers and laymen, but Reverend Price comes highly recommended. Some of you will probably ask me, well, what about Reverend Lowe? Reverend Lowe, who has been with us several times during Pastor Hodges' illness, has voluntarily stepped aside so that he may be considered along with other candidates for the position. A supply or interim pastor based on the district Church of the Nazarene policy cannot be considered for the permanent position. This is understandable logic, and if you have some questions about it, perhaps I can talk with you about it later. But I know that you'll give Reverend Price a good Hernando welcome next Sunday. Also, last Sunday, we distributed opinion surveys for the congregation to express your opinions in regarding a new pastor. And this is both for members and non-members, as long as you count us as your church. Those, if you did not get one last week, they are still available in the foyer on the table. And next Sunday will be the deadline in returning those. I remind you also, as we explained last week, the love offering for the Hodges, which will continue to be received today. There are some baskets in the foyer that you can deposit offerings in an envelope, or you can put in your cards if you have such. And again, we want you to join us, all of you, to join us in the Activity Center following the service this morning to say your personal goodbyes to the Hodges and enjoy some cake and punch. This is an informal come-and-go reception, and we want you to have that opportunity to visit with them and their family. We are so happy that their family is here today. This is maybe the only chance in your life that you can have your dessert before you have your dinner. This morning, I would like to review with you a little bit of the ministry of Pastor Hodges here. I think we also have a few slides that have been prepared. Adam prepared some of them. that kind of go along with what I have, and we'll maybe fill in a few blanks that I have here about their lives and their ministry. Are we ready? I'd like for that picture slide to be up first. There we go. All right. That picture on your left is from the 2005 Hernando directory. The one on the right is from the 2016 directory. And I've had some comments, Pastor, that Michelle has not changed a bit.
I want you to know I'm very easy to live with.
So apparently it is us that has given you the little salt and pepper look that you're wearing these days. Okay, all right. We accept that. We accept that. But we have come to a time to say goodbye and best wishes to our beloved pastor and wife. We are saddened that we shall not have them as our shepherds, leaders, but we also celebrate with them this much needed or much deserved retirement from full-time ministry. If you looked at your newspaper yesterday, the Citrus Chronicle, you saw a nice little article about their retirement. And if you didn't see it, let me just share a few things from it. And that's where, some of these slides can fit in also with what I have here. Pastor Randy and Michelle have served this church for 14 years and have spent 37 years in pastoral ministry. Prior to this assignment, they pastored in Kentucky, Texas, and Kansas. Dr. Hodges is a graduate of Olivet Nazarene University and earned his Master of Divinity and his doctorate in ministry from Nazarene Theological Seminary in Kansas City. He also has served the District Church of the Nazarene here in Florida on some of its boards and committees. And as the article said in the paper, in addition to traveling and spending time with his family in Texas and Ohio, he looks forward to honing his expert golfing skills. Did you feed them that line? Okay, all right. Not you. Okay, it must have been someone that you beat on the golf course, though. Or I would add it parenthetical to that, this was not in the paper, or perhaps he looks forward to having dinner ready when Michelle arrives home every day from her work, because he is retiring. And I understand he's keeping her working, at least for now. We'll see how long that lasts.
Gone to Mementos.
Oh, have I? Okay. Well, I guess I've been influenced over these last few years that I have been here. Okay. Well, again, we appreciate the family members being here today and traveling so far to be with us. You have been introduced to them, but I hope during the reception today that you will make yourself known and speak to them as well and tell them some good things about their mom and dad. I asked Pastor Randy to give me some highlights of his ministry here. He was hesitant in granting my request, for he said, and I quote, "Anything accomplished has been much less about me and much more about we." To me, this statement reflects the heart of a true servant of God. However, I have put together a few things that I know have occurred during his ministry, and they include the following. He inherited a strong, loving, Christ-honoring holiness church that was trusted by the congregation and respected in the community. And he has promoted and maintained this description of our church for these last 14 years. He gave oversight to several property improvements, opened the overflow areas back here, I understand, so that we could accommodate larger crowds that we tend to have at peak times or during concerts. We've had some major remodeling of the activity center that was accomplished in several stages, all of which was done without incurring any indebtedness. Of course, most of you know that we've recently upgraded the lighting, the sound, the audio visuals, in other words, of our sanctuary, and we have been able to put our sermons online. Soon after his arrival, the church mortgage was paid off, and the church was made debt-free and continues to remain debt-free today. You know, there's more, I'm going off script here. There's more to being a pastor than standing right here and preaching a sermon. And I think most of you know that. I probably didn't have to say it. But these items that I'm reading to you now just made me want to say that. He has continually promoted giving to world missions for the spread of the gospel of Jesus Christ around the world. We give much more than our denomination requests of us. In the last statistical year, we gave approximately $29,000 to the World Evangelism Fund, which was about $7,000 above our goal. And Pastor Randy has, with all of the finances, ensured that all monies have been handled in a God-honoring way. The next thing is that he inherited a strong music program led by Larry and Pat Neff. But upon their retirement, somewhere on this planet, he found this guy and his lovely wife, Walt and Phyllis, and invited them to join us. And I think that was a good decision on Pastor Randy's part. The choir has more than doubled in size. The orchestra added, and they certainly add to our worship experience. And special presentations and cantatas have increased in number. Pastor Hodges and Pastor Garrett have worked together to assure a worshipful experience, musical experience, using a blend of several genres. Also, he developed a strong and mutually beneficial relationship with Dwayne Sipper and the Path Rescue Ministry. We are able to address the spiritual needs of many of the residents, and they in turn bless us as we see them grow in God's grace. The Path consistently gives back to our church through many acts of service. The next point, he has promoted ministries to children and youth, being even in a church that is predominantly seniors, and we have been able to minister to a large group of children and youth from from unchurched families. The Dare to Care program has been also a highlight that Michelle has already mentioned, that works to welcome newcomers and to keep in touch with those already in the church. And the last item, and certainly this is not an all-inclusive list, I just got tired last night. He has administered with excellent help a busy church office, who now, of course, is managed by Michelle Varnador, a great asset. And that is really the hub for planning and executing the ministries that we all enjoy or partake of. Pastor Randy, you have faithfully executed the office of pastor by preaching the word, administering the sacraments, leading the congregation, and directing us on better how to love, worship, and obey God. You've visited the sick, you've conducted more funerals than you wanted to, and I think you've had maybe 2 or 3 weddings in this 14 years. We say to you, well done, good and faithful servant. We love you and Michelle. We shall miss you. We wish for you many blessings in this next chapter of your life. We have a couple of parting mementos. My wife's going to help me here. And you guys can come over this way. And we've got a photographer over here also that's going to take a few pictures. Okay, so there's no confusion, Pastor. These are for Michelle. Okay. We know that the flowers shall fade, but we hope that the vase will be a reminder of our love for you and our appreciation. Understand also that this very lovely group of flowers over here next to the organ has been provided by one of the members of the congregation. I'll whisper that name to you later, okay? And Pastor Randy, couldn't find any flowers. And you've got enough golf balls. But we'd like to present you with this retirement plaque. And it reads, presented to Dr. Randy T. Hodges and Michelle Hodges, in recognition for the difference you've made in the lives of so many as a senior pastor, teacher, and friend, for the dedication and commitment with which you have fulfilled God's calling as pastor and wife. With great gratitude and affection, Hernando Church of the Nazarene, best wishes for an enjoyable retirement, 2004 to 2018. Okay, do we need to turn to you, Dale?
Turn and smile. Would you like our best side?
Well, I just want to say this has been the very best church that we have been in, because you've been so loving, so kind, and just so Christ-like. And thank you all. I know the Lord is with you. He's got someone else in mind for you. So just thank you for all the love that you've given to us, because we love you. Thank you.
You know, the working with many marvelous people here has been our joy and privilege. Some of those have gone to be with Jesus already. There's a bunch of strong, Christ-loving people that we have served with here that we will see again one day. But there's many of you that have been here or have been here since we came. We've been blessed to be partners with you in ministry. For the staff people that I've worked with, Walt and Phyllis. Hi, Heather. Heather served as our children's pastor for so long and did a marvelous job. Michelle Varnador, she is a mess, you know, but it's a good mess, and she makes the office. She adds life to it. You know, she talks in the office constantly. It doesn't matter whether there's anybody else there or not. But it has been a joy to be able to serve with you in ministry. And as God has blessed this church all along, I am very confident that He is going to continue to bless you in the days ahead. God's richest blessings.
And just one final thing, if I could take the privilege of offering a prayer of blessing for our good pastor and wife. Dear God, our Father in heaven, we pray your continued blessings on Randy and Michelle Hodges during the next phase of their lives. May your presence be with them as they choose new paths and explore new horizons. May they be blessed with strong network of friends and family to enjoy the journey that lies ahead. Keep them strong in body, mind, soul, and spirit. Open new doors of service that will satisfy their desire to continually give of themselves and to make a difference in our world. Again, as we said earlier, we say to them again from your word, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. And so we end our prayer, thankful for what has been and grateful for what has yet to be. Amen. Would you stand and show your appreciation?